The former Inter Milan boss held his inaugural press conference and immediately underlined that his first objective was to get Blackburn Rovers back into Europe next season.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to the press conference today. Just by way of introduction, for those of you who haven't met him before, or them before, well, I'm sure you know Roy. On my right, John Williams, the new Chief Executive, started with us yesterday. You obviously know me. Roy, you obviously know by sight and by reputation, and you obviously know Richard at outside left, the Vice Chairman.
I'd just like to say, of course, I'm very happy to be here after a long period where it seems I've been to some extent in two camps. I mean, it's just nice to be here, it's nice to be here in person, and it's nice to be able to concentrate now 100% fully on the task ahead, which is, of course, to make sure that Blackburn have a good season and hopefully regain a place in UEFA. That will be our objective, and we'll see on the football field how well we get on with that objective.
Now you're actually in office, are there more signings in prospect immediately or fairly immediately?
Well, we're still pursuing two. We're still pursuing. We hope that the permission for Stefan Hanshaw will arrive, his work permit, so that we'll enable him to commence with us as soon as possible. Tom Finn's working very hard on that side of things. Patrick Valery is already here, so he will start with us tomorrow. With Martin Darlene, we are very close to an agreement, I believe. I don't know how much I can say on that one, but we're very close to an agreement with Roma on the transfer sum. So we're very close to coming to an agreement. One hopes to bring Darlene to Ewood Park. If those two things happen, then we have four very important signings, plus of course John Filan, who is completed the transfer and will replace Shay Given, who's gone to Newcastle, as you all know. I think 5 transfers at the start of the season, and a squad which is already a big squad is a substantial number of signings, and the important thing for me is going to be now to look very closely at the squad we have and the players we have, and not continue bringing people in who may or may not be better than the players who are already at the club. My job now is to analyse the staff. The new ones, of course, are part of this staff, but I will be judging them and very much the players who are here at the club and have been here for many years, many of them. I should just say one or two things about the staff, but there's a couple of new members of staff which are important, I think, for me to mention. Our physiotherapist is going to work with Alan Smith, Mark Taylor, that we welcome to the club and will, I'm sure, play a very important role, because in my philosophy the care of players, both after training and after matches, is every bit as important as what they do during the training session and during the matches. And also to that, on that score, or to that effect, we've also employed, the club has employed a fitness trainer, a physical fitness trainer, which is a very common thing on the continent. All Italian clubs, all German clubs have such people working for them. So we've employed a man, which will be very interesting in the beginning because he doesn't speak English, he's Italian. His name is Arnaldo Longaretti. And
usual spelling.
Yes, usual spelling. And it will keep my Italian going for at least a few more months, I suppose.
After the official proceedings, our reporter Wendy Howard joined the queue of press waiting to put some more questions to our new media-friendly boss.
I think a lot of the press were impressed by your openness on the transfers front, because that's something that hasn't been apparent at Blackburn Rovers in seasons gone by.
Well, it's not easy to be open. I mean, you can only be open when things are cut and dried. Transfers these days are very delicate operations, and I understand that the public and the press representing the public, they want the latest details, they want to know all the ins and outs of the operation. But of course the problem is that our interest sometimes is to keep things much quieter until the deal is done, because we're frightened of something happening in between times. So really there's a conflict of interest there. I can't promise that I will always, give out all the information that people want, because the important thing for me will be to get the transaction done for Blackburn Rovers, and not just to give people something to talk about in the pub and then finally give them something even more to talk about because the deal's fallen through.
Where do you see your priorities now in the first few weeks?
Working with the players.
The players who've worked with you in the past, you seem to have this special relationship with them. They want to follow you to the ends of the earth. Now, I'm not suggesting for one moment that Blackburn is the end of the earth, but why is this so? Why do you have this special relationship with players?
Well, there's a few that wouldn't.
But most of them are quoted as saying, I will play for Roy Hodgson anywhere.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I mean, one hopes it's because of my competence, but I certainly haven't got out of my way to forge relationships outside of the professional relationship between players. I try to treat players with respect. Hopefully that respect sometimes is reciprocal.
Talking to some of the senior players at Blackburn who've been here for a while, people like Colin Hendry, they could hardly contain their joy when they heard of your appointment. I mean, that must be a huge bonus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's very flattering that, and I'm very happy to hear it, and very confident, really, that the work with the players will be good.
What about the Premiership itself? It seems to have taken on a whole new lease of life since, really, the input from television.
Yes, it's a very big league now. I mean, it's compatible to the other big leagues in Italy, Spain and Germany. The quality of football last year in the league was obviously good, and that's increasing the interest not only here in England but also abroad for English football. I think the future is very rosy, but it will only remain rosy if we continue to play good football. People are not stupid. They can tell the difference between a team that plays good football and a team that doesn't. They can tell the difference between players who try hard and who sweat for their club and players who go onto the field in order to take their monthly wages but not give too much back. I've got great faith in the public to be able to tell the difference between those two things. Now, they don't all necessarily have the detailed knowledge that we as players or coaches have who've devoted our lives to the game. But then I don't have the detailed knowledge they have of their jobs either. All I can promise the people of Blackburn is that I will do a good job here. I'll work very hard to do a good job. I'll work very hard to see the team plays well and the team has got good discipline both on the field and off the field. And hopefully that will give results. But you can't promise more than that. It's a mistake to promise more than that. The pressure, well, the pressure will be there any league job. I've got pressure here working at Ewood Park with Blackburn in the Premier League, but the guy who's just preparing his amateur team for the start of the season, he's put on a bit of pressure too, because there might be one particularly nasty parent who's going to give him a very hard time if the team don't win every game. So just a question of size, really.